On July 19, 1989, United Airlines Flight 232 took off like any other routine flight in the United States. The aircraft was a McDonnell Douglas DC-10, flying from Denver to Chicago, with its final destination set for Philadelphia. On board were 296 passengers and crew members, including families, business travelers, and children, all unaware that this ordinary journey was about to turn into one of the most studied survival stories in aviation history. The weather was clear, the flight was smooth, and nothing felt unusual as the plane climbed steadily toward its cruising altitude. About an hour into the flight, the aircraft leveled off at 37,000 feet above the Midwest. Inside the cockpit were Captain Al Haynes, First Officer William Records, and Second Officer Dudley Dvorak, all experienced pilots who had flown thousands of hours. The cabin was calm, flight attendants moved through the aisles, and passengers settled into their seats. Then, without any warning, a loud explosion ripped through the aircraft, followed by violent shaking. The sound echoed through the cabin, and within seconds, warning alarms filled the cockpit. The number 2 engine, mounted at the rear of the DC-10, had suffered a catastrophic failure. A titanium fan disc inside the engine shattered at extremely high speed, sending sharp metal fragments outward with immense force. These fragments did not stop at destroying the engine. They tore through the aircraft's tail section and severed all 3 of the plane's independent hydraulic systems. In commercial aviation, hydraulics are the lifeblood of an aircraft, controlling the ailerons, rudder, elevators, flaps, brakes, and steering. Planes are designed with multiple redundant systems so that if one fails, the others can take over. But on Flight 232, all 3 systems were lost at the same time, something that had never happened before in aviation history. Captain Haynes tried to move the control unit, but the aircraft did not respond. The rudder pedals were useless. The plane was still flying forward, but it was no longer controllable in a normal way. Slowly, the aircraft began banking to the right, and the nose started to dip. Altitude began dropping. Inside the cockpit, the situation became painfully clear. The DC-10 was now a 300,000-pound aircraft traveling at high speed with no flight controls. Captain Haynes later recalled thinking that the airplane might no longer be flyable. The only control the crew still had was engine thrust. By adjusting the power on the wing-mounted engines, they discovered they could influence the aircraft's direction slightly. Increasing thrust on one side and reducing it on the other allowed them to make slow,
Status
stable
confirmed.
turns.
Acknowledged. Adjusting now.
Crude and exhausting, but it was the only option left. Air traffic controllers on the ground watched in disbelief as the radar showed Flight 232 descending in an irregular pattern, unable to maintain stable flight. At this critical moment, an unexpected person entered the cockpit. Captain Dennis Fitch, a United Airlines training pilot and DC-10 expert, was traveling as a passenger on the flight. Hearing about the emergency, he rushed forward and offered his help. The crew immediately welcomed him. Fitch quickly understood the gravity of the situation. There were no checklists for total hydraulic failure. No simulator training had ever prepared pilots for this. Together, the 4 men worked as a team, using engine thrust alone to keep the aircraft roughly level. Controlling the plane felt like balancing a bicycle on handlebars, using only speed to stay upright. Air traffic control searched desperately for a place where the aircraft could attempt an emergency landing. The closest suitable airport was Sioux City, Iowa. However, the runway available was shorter than ideal, and the aircraft would be approaching at high speed without flaps, brakes, or steering. Despite the risks, there was no other choice. Captain Haynes informed the cabin crew, who moved through the cabin calmly, explaining brace positions to the passengers. Many people began writing final notes to their families. Some prayed quietly, while others held hands. There was fear, but there was also a strange calm, as if everyone understood how serious the situation was. As the plane descended towards Sioux City, it entered a terrifying cycle of motion. The nose would drop, the aircraft would accelerate, then it would climb again, only to repeat the pattern. This motion, known as a fugue-going oscillation, made it incredibly difficult to fireball erupted as debris scattered across the airfield. To observers on the ground, the crash appeared completely unsurvivable. Then, something extraordinary happened. Survivors began emerging from the wreckage. People walked away from the burning remains of the aircraft. Some were injured, many were burned, but they were alive. Out of the 296 people on board, 184 survived, while 112 lost their lives. Aviation experts later said that the survival rate was nothing short of miraculous. Given the conditions of the crash, many believed that no one should have survived at all. Investigators later identified several key factors that contributed to the survival of so many passengers. Exceptional teamwork in the cockpit, calm leadership from Captain Haynes, the innovative use of engine thrust guided by Dennis Fitch, clear communication with passengers, and rapid emergency response on the ground all played crucial roles. The crash of Flight 232 led to major changes in aviation, including improvements in engine design, hydraulic system protection, and crew resource management training around the world. Years later, Captain Al Haynes reflected on that day with humility. He said that they simply did their job and were fortunate. Today, United Airlines Flight 232 is taught in flight schools worldwide as an example of crisis management, teamwork, and human resilience. It remains a powerful reminder that even when technology fails, calm leadership and cooperation can make the difference between total disaster and survival.